Nagtatakip ba tayo dito? Ako, yan po ang real talk ni Senator Marcoleta dyan sa Senado. Panoorin po natin ang resback niya kay Ping Lacson pala, na kung saan itong si Ping Lacson mukhang takot na sumagot kay Senator Marcoleta. May pinagtatakpan nga ba lalo dyan sa flood control projects, maanumalyang flood control projects? Kasi naman, may mga katanungan dyan matungkol po sa partial report. O ito, mukhang alam naman ng karamihan na sa mga nakaraang investigasyon ay nakikita po kung sino talaga yung mastermind. May mga ebidensya, may mga nagsasabi dyan, nabanggit pa ang pangalan, pero itong si Senator Ping Lacson ay may kulang pa. Sa tingin ng iba, kulang pa ang ginawa niya sa Blue Ribbon Committee. O ito, Senator Marcoleta, Ping Lacson, makinig ka.
We recognize our distinguished colleague from Tarlac.
Senator Dante Marcoleta is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I ask Senator Lacson if he wishes to yield some questions by way of interpellation?
Senator Lacson,
I'll say it again, Mr. President. Until the partial committee report is submitted or filed with the Bills and Index Division, and until after I have sponsored the partial committee report, I'm not yielding the floor.
Mr. President, that is very highly unusual. Why would Senator Lacson make a precondition that the partial report should be signed by at least a majority of its members before he can yield
may,
the interpellation?
yes. May I place on record that it is the prerogative of any member of the Senate to yield or not yield. As a matter of fact, in my many years here, Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, and I'm sure Senator De Estrada is well aware of this, who was with me. Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, every time she delivers a privileged speech, does not entertain any interpellation.
Yes,
And
Mr.
it is her-
President, but
it is her prerogative.
this is different.
And then,
Because if
as I said, it is the prerogative of Senator Santiago, and it is likewise the prerogative of Senator Lacson, because he wants that, as he mentioned, he wanted that his partial committee report be reported out and sponsored before he can answer any questions to that effect.
Mr. President, if Senator Lacson would just say that he doesn't want to be interpellated, that will be okay with me. But he should not make a precondition that his unwillingness is conditioned upon whether or not the partial report should be signed by the majority. This is very unusual, Mr. President.
Yes, we respect your opinion.
And because he doesn't want to be interpellated, may I just be given the opportunity to make manifestation because my name was mentioned by Senator Lacson.
Of course you may.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I cannot speak for our colleagues why they hesitate or even refuse to sign the partial report he allegedly disseminated to the members. But as for myself, Mr. President, I cannot sign a partial report. A partial report is basically unfinished. An unfinished report cannot be assumed to have contained the final and collective judgment of all the members. This is very basic, Mr. President. Secondly, I did not heed my reasons why I cannot sign the partial report. I delivered a privileged speech some time ago, Mr. President, outlining the reasons, therefore. Number one, I was expecting the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee to have conducted several hearings more, and in those hearings, he should have invited several persons whom I enumerated in my privileged speech. Namely, Yusek Adrian Bersamin, Yusek Jojo Cadiz, former Governor Luis Chavez Singson, former Speaker Martin Romualdez, former Congressman Saldico by way of an apostilled sworn statement, because this is very, very possible. An apostilled sworn statement, Mr. President, as I have already advised the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee, is similar to a sworn statement notarized by the Philippine Consulate in any part of the world, because this apostilled manner or method of subscription was already adopted by the Supreme Court in one of its resolutions, Mr. President. I also advocated that the 18 ex-soldiers be immediately be invited because they have so much to say. Because I thought he said, and he emphasized at some point, that wherever the evidence is, the BRC will be led thereto, Mr. President. Ang sabi pa po niya, Mr. President, hindi ang interparliamentary courtesy. Kung ako po ba'y tatawagin pala sa mababang kapulungan dahil meron pala silang itatanong tungkol sa di umano ay mga donasyon na aking tinanggap. Mr. President, I will willingly present myself with or without invitation. They decided to suggest to me that they wanted me there. I will go there, Mr. President. Interparliamentary courtesy is between the two chambers, Mr. President. Tayo-tayo po ang pinag-uusapan na maggalangan doon. Pero ang nangyari, Mr. President, ang ating boss, ang mga amo natin, ang taong bayan, ang hindi na po iginalang. Hindi lang pangbabastos sa mga taong bayan ang ginawa ng mga magnanakaw at kawatan nitong flood control projects. Igagalang pa ba natin, Mr. President, ang mga tinutungo ng ebidensya na sangkot ang mga taong gusto nating ipatawag in this chamber? Gagamitin pa po bang isang dahilan na kailangan nating maggalangan kung sila mismo ay hindi na iginalang ang taong bayan na ngayon ay halos nagdurusa na? Tama po, sinabi niya kanina, Mr. President, talagang mainit ang panahon. Ang heat index ay talagang sumadsad na talaga sa pinakamainit na bahagi. Ngunit ang lalong nagpapainit nito, Mr. President, ay yung kawalan ng political will na ipagpatuloy ang pagdinig. Kahit na lantaran na nandun na talaga yung mga ebidensya. Bakit po hindi tayo tumawag ng pagdinig, Mr. President? Inimbita si Governor Luis Chavez Singson. Sa pagkakalam ko sa mga accounts na nababasa ko, he was invited to appear on April 14. At binigyan po siya ng pagkakataon hanggang April 7, hanggang alas 5 ng hapon, na ihain ang kanyang sinumpaang salaysay. Hanggang alas 5 ng hapon, Mr. President. Ngunit 9:15 ng umaga, ipinaabot sa bahay ng dating gobernador na kinakansela na po ang nasabing pagdinig. At ginamit pang dahilan, paano po nangyari yun, Mr. President? Binigyan siya hanggang alas 5 ng Abril 7 na isubmit. Sa pagkakaalam ko po, nandun na siya sa Maynila at nanananghali. Pagkatapos na itutuloy siya sa opisina ni Senator Lacson para ihain yung sworn statement na kanyang inihanda. Bakit po kinakailangang dumating pa si Saldico? Hinihintay siguro ni Saldico, Mr. President, ideklara lang ng chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee, i-apostil mo lang yan kahit nasaan ka sa anumang bansa ka sa Europe. Tatanggapin ng committee yan. At pagkatapos, hahayaan ka namin sa pamagitan ng Zoom ay pumayag ka at iimbitahan ka namin para sa isang special na pagdinig kung yan ang gusto mo. Yun lang siguro gusto niyang marinig. Bakit ikukondisyon pa natin ang pagdating niya rito, Mr. President, kung yung apostille sworn statement is sufficient enough for him to do just that? Ano po ba tayo rito? Nagtatakip po ba talaga tayo?
Alam naman natin kung sino ang mga buhaya dyan sa Senado. Ilan lang naman sila. Nakatanggap pa daw ng malay-maletang pera ayon sa mga ex-marines. May mga nabanggit na pangalan dyan. Pero sa mga nag-comment sa video yan, marami pong nag-agree dito kay Senator Marcoleta. Ayon dito sa mga nag-komento, sabi ni Sir Vidad, mabuhay ka Senator Marcoleta, dapat kang maging VP ni Sara Duterte. Ayan na. Ito sabi ni Christian Recato, masyado ka na talaga halata, Lacson. Ay, kita naman natin yan. Kasi kagaya niyan, naka-live naman dyan sa Senado, yung galawan nila, kung matalino ka, alam mo kung sino ang mastermind sa mga buhaya. Kahit pagtakpan nila, Magkita-kita lang naman yan pagdating ng halalan. Malamang yung mga buhaya dyan, hindi na makakabalik yan. Pag naging Vice President si Senator Marcoleta, nako, lagot kayo sa kanya. Hanggang dito lang, thank you. Bye-bye.